warm summer's evening, standing on the mound. The ballpark's full of cheering crowd. Home team's back in town with all pitches.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Painting Corners Baseball Podcast. I'm your co-host, as always, Johnny C., joined by Aidan Smith with a nice crossover episode with our very own Matt Roberts, resident Blue Jays fan, guest writer, friend of the pod. Welcome to the show tonight. We're excited to yuck some ball, talk Blue Jays. How are you doing tonight, Matt? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Doing pretty good. Just kind of winding down the long weekend and getting back to work tomorrow morning bright and early.
Bright and early. What's work looking like for you these days, aside from writing bomb pieces at Painting Corners?
I wished I was as good as my job as I was as writing pieces for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm a general manager for the housing authority in the small Saskatchewan city that I live in.
Oh, fantastic. That's exciting. I love the Blue Jays hat. Is that vintage? Let's see. Oh, yeah.
That's the
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That you're in a rural area, man. Wow. Well, I'm sure that there's a lot of Blue Jays fever up in Saskatchewan, right? Because you guys don't have a lot else going on.
The biggest thing was our junior hockey team just got done their season. So back to just baseball now.
Nice. There you go.
I love the Canadian accent, by the way. Love it.
It's wonderful. So, Matt, there's a lot of places to jump in, and there's a lot of ball to yuck around the league. But because we have you, I think this is like a perfect pod to open up a gnawing question in every baseball fan's heart, right? So last year, Vladdy gets the big contract. The Blue Jays steal the show. We're all cheering at the Rogers Center. They're basically 2 outs away. Hoffman can't do the deal. Okay. Then the offseason comes and they do the unthinkable. They keep the Cinderella story going and become a franchise powerhouse, willing to spend the money to pull all the talent, Dylan Cease included, into the Rogers Center. And chugga-choo-choo, the locomotive, Okamoto comes over. They're doing great. They're making moves. But now we're in a place where Vladdy's a slap hitter, question mark. And is the season salvageable is becoming the thing I think that casual baseball fans are wondering about the Blue Jays. Not did their front office do enough to move the needle, but what's the inside take? Give us the inside baseball from up above the border if you can.
I might be the wrong person to ask this because I'm an optimist and I'm very optimistic about my Blue Jays.
Let's go.
But I'm always going to think that the season is salvageable up until probably the end of July, middle of August.
I love it, dude.
For a little bit of context, Matt, you're sitting at a 3.2% chance of winning the Divvy in the AL East. 39.5 to make the postseason, grabbing that wild card. So if you had to predict where we're gonna land here, gun to the head, what do you got?
Gun to the head, I'm happy with saying a wild card 1. Maybe even pushing for the AL East because I'm sure our odds were just as good last year, and we didn't have a winning record in a month until May last year, and I don't think we really got going until the end of June, beginning of July. So we're only what would be 60 games into the season. We still got 100 games to go.
So I do also have a question for you about Game 7. Do you approve of the slider middle to Miggy Rowe?
Brutal.
In the top of the 9th inning, or do you feel like Jeff should have gone with the 4 seam?
I'm so sorry for him. On behalf of the pod, I apologize for my friend.
No, that's okay. Lots of people apologize for me too, so it's okay.
I'm just joking. It's a good question.
I think in that spot, you put a fastball high, maybe outside the zone to get Miggy to chase.
Yeah.
I think it was just a beach ball that was hung up in the zone.
Yeah.
Because I think if that thing's lower in the zone in the dirt that he's chasing, and hindsight's 2020, but
Of course.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
also
it
will
was heartbreaking.
say, you know, in hindsight, of course, allows us a different perspective. But even at the time when they signed the Hoff dog, I remember, you know, looking at the physical, you know, concerns, and if you remember, a couple teams passed on Jeff for concerns, and I don't know. I feel like James Click and the crew maybe should have added another high leverage reliever. Do you feel like going into the year that you thought Hoffman was the guy, or do you have concerns?
I have more concerns now, now than I did say in March or April. Um, I don't want to say I trust Hoffman, but I trust him as much as I can because he is an $11 million arm in the back end of the pen.
Yeah.
I think what we know now, it would be stupid to give Hoffman any ninth inning baseballs just because of what Marlon's doing right now. He's got like
Louis?
a he's got like a .40 ERA, I want to say, or something crazy like that.
I don't know. For
So,
me, I feel like Spencer Miles would be my closer. Rule 5, dog.
I see, and I kind of went over some of the Spencer Miles stuff, and I don't
Yeah.
know if he's gonna be more of a long reliever guy. Maybe you put him in as like a sixth or seventh inning guy.
Yep.
I think with the Hoffman and the Varland situation is going to play a big role into this right now.
Yeah.
But whatever he's doing right now, he's looking really good, and it's impressive what the Blue Jays have been able to do with some of their Rule 5 picks in recent years.
It is
Yeah.
impressive.
It's
Yeah, for
funny. He
sure.
entered the Rule 5 draft with only 14 innings of experience. And the Blue Jays just making it
Stud.
happen, dude. Love that.
I was being facetious, of course, about Miles closing, but I do think he's got something going there. I personally think Louis the guy, right? He's got to be. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, if Louis pitching against Miggy Rowe in that spot, who knows where we would be.
Now, let's give the Jays some credit. They're dealing with some injuries here, right? So,
Big time.
Bieber's elbow, Kirk's thumb, Santander's labral surgery. Labrum? Like, how many? Okay, you you decide to pay Santander the bag to stick him in right, and he's just been
Yep.
injured pretty much this whole time. And Barrios is out, Scherzer's out, and we were singing Lauer's praises. At least me and Aidan were to start off the season, and I
Friend of
was
the
like,
pod.
huge friend of the pod, Eric Lauer, shout out. And we're like, how is this guy racking up strikeouts so much? And I come like, the sky is falling. This guy's falling to Aidan. I'm like, who is this guy? We've been missing out on him in our notes. And Aidan's like, don't worry, he's going to regress to the mean. He has. And no hate to Lauer, but it's just, he's really pitching to his baseball card now. But it's like Spencer Miles is a breath of fresh air for sure. And Vladdy being a slap hitter apparently doesn't worry Albert Pujols, who's made some public comments about how he's great and fine. But even Schneider came out, though, and was like, I'm kind of concerned about Vladimir Guerrero. And it could be a timing thing. The bat speed's not really down. That's not alarming. What's your feel as a fan for, say, I guess, Vlad, who to me is the heartbeat of the team, especially with Bo being often Flushing in Queens?
So I just want to start this question off by saying thank you, Mets, for taking Bo's defense off of our backs because
I
I've
like that.
I've seen
Nice.
I've seen Bo try to get a fly ball in kind of no man's land. I don't know how many times, and I don't know how many times it ends up the same way that it did this weekend. So, in regards to Vladdy, I think there's a mixture of the situation with the injuries and just kind of Vlad being Vlad. He's always been a notorious slow starter. He's more of a slap hitter now, and you're paying him $500 million to kill baseballs, to get 100, 120 RBIs, 40 home runs. But Honestly, I think with the lineup getting more set around him when we start getting back guys like Lucas and Barger, just to name a couple guys, I think he'll get more comfortable and back to being himself. And I would like to say by June, July, when Canada's starting to actually heat up and we have some summer, I think Vlad's going to be putting moonshots into the Rogers Center decks again, and everybody's going to kind of forget about this first couple months.
How often do they open up the roof in summertime? I feel like that's got to be just beautiful.
Quite frequently, actually. I'm about a 3 or 4 hour flight away from Toronto,
Okay.
but I try to go to games at least one series a year or one series every, you know what I mean, couple of years,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely stunning.
That's got to be such a vibe. Like, I can see you getting on the plane in Saskatchewan, landing in Toronto, and you're not just there for a game. Like, you get an Airbnb or a hotel or whatever, stay with some fam or friends, and you're just like waking up, going to see the boys play some ball. The roof is open, summertime in Canada, baby, perfect temps. And then it's like in the back of your mind, when it's like the seventh inning, you're like, no worries, I get to go to 2 more games in a row after this. That's the best feeling in the world,
Yeah,
man.
pretty much how it is.
Matt, speaking of the boys, Johnny and Joey Lopes are best buddies. And I got to ask, because we
Yeah.
have you on here,
We got you.
do you approve of Joey for Jesus Sanchez?
I do. I think Jesus has it. He kind of started hot and he's tapering down a bit, but I do agree with that trade. And I thought it was a good trade for the Blue Jays when it happened. Um, I feel like it's one thing is we've been able to kind of find diamonds in the rough, whether it's pitching or fielding, and we've been able to transform their careers. Like I'm not gonna say Jesus Sanchez is gonna be Joey Bats, but Joey Bats was kind of a Joey Bats was kind of a blip on the radar up until he came to Toronto, and then I think was it 2010 where he had 52 home runs,
But Batista, yeah.
he just
Yeah.
kind of kept going from there.
He also had that iconic bomb, of course. Talk to me about Yo Penango, Yo Hendrick,
Mm.
right? This guy popped out of nowhere, hitting 333. Is this kid legit? The Rook?
I think it's too early to say. I think that he could have some success, but I think it's too early to say. Kind of like a Spencer Miles or maybe even a Brendan Valenzuela. With the Curtin situation, they've been given a chance, and he's balling out with the chance he's gotten. So I think, you know what I mean, maybe if it wasn't for the situation we're in, maybe some of these guys don't get chances like that.
Yeah.
But with how MLB's also looking is that more and more rookies are making it up with 10 games of AAA experience, maybe even just AA experience. So I think it's kind of changing the scene of the game the last couple of years with how rookies and younger players are being treated.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have a confession. I actually root for Pat Corbin wherever he goes. I don't know why, but he's one of my guys. And he's been solid, man. He came out of the abyss. He's got a 3.93. He's pitching today actually, but 7 starts. He looks good for you guys, but I'm assuming at the deadline you got to think that your brass are going to be hunting for starting pitching, right? I mean, would you like to see that happen? Would you want them to deal away some of the top farm guys to get a big dog?
I think at this point we have to. If Ponce doesn't have his season-ending injury, I think we're in a different position. But I think at this point we have to go pick up a 3 to 5 starter, and then I think we need some type of a bullpen guy as well, maybe, or bullpen or 2 guys just to kind of shore up the bullpen. But I think come end of July, beginning of August, yeah.
We had a moment of silence for Ponce. Yeah, when he ate it, it's just tough, man. This is going to be his breakout from the KBO, and it's just tough. The baseball gods would not allow the breakout year for Cody this year.
Pour one out. Pour out a Molson and maple syrup. Pour it all out.
Yeah.
I actually have that from one of my trees in my yard, so it's funny you say that.
You make maple syrup?
Of course I do, and I ride polar bears all over town.
Oh, that's amazing. An armored bear, just like in the
Yeah.
those books. You did have an import though that is doing great. I guess we'll call Cody Ponce an import coming from the KBO. The shocker for me is Okamoto. Like, oh man, if you're hitting 10 bombs at this point in the season and you're like an NPB import and we're like not really sure what's going to happen with you, that's pretty impressive. I mean, you're only batting 228, so that's worrisome. I guess for a normal guy, if I see you batting 228, I'm like, you better be Joey Gallo, in your prime. But I mean, you're playing premium third base. You're doing a great job, and he and Ernie are holding it down. Though the offense overall is struggling, I think that's a big bright spot. How do you feel about Okamoto? Like, is he one of your favorite players to watch? Any like fun facts about him you've been picking up?
Yeah, I would say he's one of my favorite Blue Jays right now. During the winter meetings, I was hoping we were getting him because he does have average or above average third base, and third base has kind of been a revolving door for the Blue Jays since Chapman took off for San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he's hitting home runs. His average is a little lower, but at least we have that third base short up, and that kind of lets Ernie play second and Jimenez at short. So I think it kind of worked out really well.
Right. Fun fact is, you might know this already, but I found this out in my notes for the night, is when he was picking where he was going to go, his daughter picked it. She pointed at all the logos and was like, I like this logo the most. How cute is that? I love that story.
Yeah.
Another thing about Okamoto, apart from that very nice fact, Johnny, I hadn't heard that. That's heartwarming. Also heartwarming is the 959 OPS that Kazuma has in May. So I see your concerns about the contactability, but I will point out, I mean, the Ks are down, right? 38 Ks in April, but that was a huge adjustment for him. He's going from the second best league in the world to the best league in the world, and I will say Okamoto's contactability is better than Murakami's. I personally see Okamoto being a 240, 250 hitter in the big leagues, but it's encouraging to see how he looks in May. I mean, he is stroking the ball right now, and he can play third base.
Well said. I think my favorite Blue Jay still right now is Ernie Clement, just because he's such a stud. What he did in the postseason last year, having so many hits. Name is Ernie, super cool. I guess, yeah.
I want a shortstop named Bert, though, Johnny.
Bert.
I want Bert at short, and I want Ernie at second.
Ah, yes, dude.
That would be must
Ernie.
watch. Must watch.
Yep.
Who's your favorite player on the team right now? Like, do you have a fan favorite?
Probably my guy on the team right now is Springer. I've always been a huge fan of Springer.
Really?
And just I know there's always going to be that questioning about the Astros, but a leadoff guy who can hit a bomb whenever you need. He has the biggest, probably the second or third biggest home run in Blue Jays history against the Seattle Mariners. Yep. I've always been a fan of George Springer and just the energy he brings to not only to the field, but while he's on the bench and just when he's going through some of his stuff. I love Springer. I love me some Springer dingers.
Me too, my friend. I will never forget that home run against the Mariners. I mean, the Blue Jays are not my team, but I watched that like it was. I watched the replay of that home run religiously for the next week, like they were my team. You know what I mean? That was so hype, dude.
I still watch replays of it.
I'm going to put it on right now. I need to see that. I just missed that. I know what you mean about Springer, though. He really is. It's interesting coming out of the Astros. He does have that Carlos Correa thing where it's like one guy's glance can make the whole team better. Really can just light up a dugout, even when he's not actually hitting or playing. And I also know what you mean about the leadoff thing. I say this to Aidan all the time. Like, Kyle Schwarber is one of my favorites because it's just so odd to have a guy with that much pop leading off. What I expect it more is like a let's get on base and steal second kind of thing, or have a little bit of power or something. But man, Schwarber just you could hit solo shots whenever you want. And same thing with Springer dingers.
Yep. Well, and you have a few guys in the Jays lineup who can change the game with one swing. To your point, Matt, I mean, they were 27 and 28 on May 28th last year and turned it around. Right now, I think one of the things they have to contend with is obviously the starting pitching injuries, but also Tampa Bay's hot, really hot. The Yankees look good. Who knows if Boston can get out of the cellar? Although I will say, when your manager shows up to the local Four Seasons when you're on the road, it just gets torched right in the hotel. That's a season ender, right? There's no coming back from that, right?
Yep.
Remind our fans what happened, Aidan. Give them give a lowdown.
So of course the decision had been made, right? So Craig and all his Excel sheets and Sam Kennedy and John Henry flew into Baltimore, and they had won 17-2 or something like that day. And Cora walks in and they're all just in suits, all three of your bosses just sitting around in the Four Seasons. So I think we all knew what was coming there, but that just seems like a season ender to me,
Speaking of season enders, right now I am watching George Springer touch them all
Oh,
in Rogers Center. 4-3.
Ending Seattle season.
Update, everybody. Oh my God, this is amazing. Barger congratulating him. Bizzardo, 2 pitches in, bottom of the 7th, 1 out. You're up 3-1, and Wu had just pitched a masterpiece.
Oh, don't get me started.
But I don't mean to interrupt. It is around the league. It is looking odd, and once again we find ourselves. Speaking of the Mariners, I guess from old when they used to win like 120 games a year but never do anything in the playoffs, it's kind of where the Rays are at, right? It's like they're just this powerhouse of analytics and thriftiness that just, what are they going to do in the playoffs? Can we get in on the Rays? Should we buy Rays stock right now?
At 30 and 15, it might be time to sell the stock.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, but they got some guys. Yeah, they got Yandy, they got Aranda, they got Caminero. I mean, they got dudes. Velade, I think is it Velade? It's got to be. They pick guys up for nothing. I mean, I remember they got Johnny DeLuca from the Dodgers. I mean, they picked these guys up, and Ben Williamson, they got him for not much from Seattle, actually. He's been an average hitter and plays, I would say, a Gold Glove level third base. I've been playing short right now, but it's a more complete lineup than you might think it would be. Tampa Bay historically doesn't really score a lot. But this year, the offense is actually really solid. I think where Tampa is going to run into trouble, in my opinion, down the stretch and in the postseason, if they grab a wild card, will be their defense. Their defense is atrocious.
Wow.
And, hey, that's me. On the margins, these things matter, man. It's like it comes down to a game or two sometimes, right? As we all know. I mean, I can't tell you what it felt like when Seattle was one win away and they were playing Texas at home and they just couldn't close the door, Yep. And some of that was defense, if you guys remember. So the defense, the base running, those are the things that concern me with Tampa. And then maybe even the starting pitching too. Like it's dire enough where they're stretching out Griffin Jacks. So,
but you've got McClanahan, Rasmussen, and Martinez.
Can those guys stay healthy all year, though? They're like 140 inning guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. That is like a real question.
You need horses, right? And that's what Toronto needs is a horse.
They should have got Valdez. That would have been so funny.
They should have gotten Lucas Giolito. How did no one get him before San Diego picked him up?
San Diego's another one that is interesting in the league, right? They're always like so good, good.
Yeah.
And then we're never talking about them in the playoffs.
And you're like, what happened?
I don't get it, man. It's not fair.
What happened?
Not fair to the fans. But I don't know. If you had to choose another team, Matt, who do you like to root for below the border?
Funny you say the Padres because I've always kind of been a Padres guy.
Whoa, friend of the
Something
pod,
about those,
Dre's.
Wow. Are you an AJ
some,
Preller guy?
something, something about those brown pinstripes. I just love those brown pinstripes.
He gets
Those
it.
jerseys. If that's one thing I could do, it's take them for the jersey.
Man after
Something
my own
about
heart.
the dads just gets Matt going.
Man after my own heart. I'm a big Jersey guy myself. Not the Garden State, but when the Reds used to have we always talk about the sleeveless Reds away jerseys with the long black Under Armour, the sleeveless gray with the red Cincinnati, early 2000s. Pump that into my veins, please.
Give me
Love
Griffey in that one more time.
Yeah,
Matt,
absolutely.
do you believe in Yariel Rodriguez?
Whoa.
Thanks for putting me on the spot here with this one. Very optimistic. I was very optimistic about him because he was a bigger name on the international scene when the
Yeah.
Blue Jays picked him up, and I just feel like he hasn't lived up to the expectation. He was supposed to come in as a starter at one time and then maybe a 7-8 guy, and that didn't work out. And I guess if he can pitch and give us innings, and I'm happy with him, but he's been a bit of a letdown above the north of the border here.
Unfortunately, he did just give up a piss missile to Cody Bellinger to tie the game here. So
Une piste
Geez,
missile.
that's not surprising though. That doesn't surprise me.
yeah, it's 103.5 off the bat, 402 feet, center field, and you just walk Trent Grisham hitting 166. Man, you don't walk the guy hitting 166, right? Yeah,
I,
and that's the thing with Rodriguez that I was worried about is he loses the zone, right? And it seems to be like he also doesn't seem to pitch well from the stretch. Like once a guy's on, he doesn't seem to know how to handle the stretch.
it's funny
And
how
as
many.
soon as sorry,
No, you go ahead, my friend.
I was just gonna say he doesn't know how to pitch out of the stretch, and then once he starts losing the zone, he doesn't seem to be able to find it again, and things
It's
just kind of
gone.
snowball from there.
Where's Waldo? Where's the strike zone?
Mm,
Right?
you guys
Maybe
definitely
he should be an umpire.
are leading the league in the most interesting Y names. Like you've got Yay Savage,
Ooh.
Yariel. Who's the guy you mentioned? I always forget the name. Aidan, start of the pod. Starts with a Y. Plays for the Jays. Interesting name.
Yasevich? You said Yasevich, right?
I said him. Yeah, no, it was one of the other guys you asked about earlier.
Valenzuela. Oh, Pinago.
Yes.
That's a P though, not a V. Or you said a Y.
I thought there was a Y in that name.
Oh wait, his
somewhere.
first name's Y. It's like Hendrick or something like that.
Yeah. That's what I
sure.
mean.
Yeah.
They got Ys all over the place, and it's beautiful what they're doing up there. They got a nice little collage. Of pretty names.
What I would like to know, Matt, can you walk me through the Lenine Sosa trade? Like, what's the logic there in trading for Lenine Sosa?
Honestly, I don't have a good answer for you.
That's fair.
Maybe it is Adkins trying to get more into the database and trying to pick up something, because I know the Blue Jays have tried to go more to a analytical side of things. I don't know if it always works, but I don't have a good answer on the Sosa trade. That kind of surprised all of us just as much as it surprised you guys.
Are you a Ross believer? Like, do you back Ross?
I do and I don't. Because
Sounds like you're lukewarm on him.
What him and Shapiro did in Cleveland, I was hopeful for it, but we haven't seen that trajectory where it's year after year after year. It's, we had last year. The last time we made it really into the wild card or the playoffs, we blew 2 wild card series.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker to the Twins that injured both Bo and Springer. I think that was in 23, I want to say.
Yep.
And then the year before, same thing. I can't remember who we played the year before, but there just hasn't been that trajectory where they're putting
Bless
us
you.
on the market as a contender year after year after year.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do wonder who got on the table for Yariel, and stood up and evangelized our friend Yariel, for Ross. And Ross said, "You know what? Let's go all in on Rodriguez." I wonder who that was because they're in trouble right now. Jazz just hit a 2-run bomb. Wow, 4 runs in the 7th inning. Yes.
We're not liking it.
You're you're slowly breaking my heart to hear them calling because I didn't know what was happening in the game, and we were leading at one time.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt.
I,
I totally spoiled it. But although, do you want to watch the
I
whole game if you know that this is what happens?
no, I will not be joining in to Blue Jays in 30 either on Sportsnet, so that's
Hey,
not going to be
they're still
happening
in
now.
it.
So.
They're only down 2, but 102 miles an hour off the bat. I mean, it's not like these are wall scrapers, Like these
No.
are getting hit hard.
Do you find that you love your team enough, Matt, where you have the courage to rage shut off the TV when they're losing so poorly sometimes?
Ooh,
No, honestly, if I'm watching a game, I'm all in, even if they're getting smoked.
Wow. What a guy.
It's even for our junior team this year. So, Aidan, you're from the Seattle area, right?
yeah.
So our junior team, the Raiders, played the Everett Silvertips in the WHL Championship, and even Game 5 when we lost 7-2, and I had to stay till the very end because you never know what's going to happen. Doesn't matter if it's hockey or baseball or it could be cricket. I would stay till the bitter end.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
another PC member, Ryan, friend of the pod, also my brother. Ryan is one of those true believer types. He'll stay there when they're down 15 or a million, and I'm more of a probability guy, right? I remember we were at an NFL game and it was 50-0, and I just said, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I got to beat the traffic.
That's right. That's practical.
And that's sacrilege in my family to say you got to beat the traffic. But I think it's practical.
Absolutely.
And the baseball version of that to me is, I mean, geez, come on. What is it, 8 runs where you can put in a hitter to pitch, something like that? So if I got a hitter on my roster pitching, I'm out of there, right? That's just me.
I gotta say it though, sometimes you never know what's gonna happen. I wrote about it in one of my first articles. Was the Blue Jays back, I think it was 21. They were playing the Oakland Athletics and we were down by 6. And Gurriel hit a grand slam to tie the game and we won it in extras. So you may not get it every day, but you still get it.
It's true. I think my scale is like when Stros had their remarkable 2022 season, and then game 1 of the ALDS, I was like, we are getting smoked all game by the horrible, despicable Seattle Mariners. And I remember, I'll never forget, we're down 3-1, 2 outs, 2 strikes, bottom of the 9th, and I was really standing there in my living room, and I was devastated. I was like, how am I going to cope with losing this first game at home? This is like going to ruin the rest of my day. So I go to my office, I get my Jordan bobblehead, I put it out. I'm not a superstitious guy. I'm just a little stitious. I put the bobblehead out there, and I'm just like saying, God, whatever happens, let me be okay with it. And then Scott Service decided to bring out a guy named Robbie Ray to the mound and made all my pain go away. Yet there are other times, like this season with my Stros, where I can smell blood in the water and I know when to cut it. Like when you walk the bases loaded 3 times in a row and you're just like giving up, like you're walking in runs against the A's, it's time for me to go do something productive with my time, So
I honestly feel like Scott Cervais, the only plausible excuse for him putting in Robbie Ray there is that he was from a different century,
Whoa, okay.
And he just like was dropped into that moment from 1950, and he's like, oh, lefty. let's go get Robbie. Like that's the only thing I can think of is that he just didn't have time to look at Jordan splits. That's the only thing I can think of.
Adding to that, he was dropped in. He was actually an artillery commander in the Napoleonic Wars, and he was dropped into that moment.
But you're going back, way back.
No idea about baseball, and he just sees the alliteration, and a guy next to him is like, who you going to put in? You got to pick a name. And somehow, somewhere in the multiverse, having a roster in front of him, he just knew he had to pick a name, but he saw the powerful, nobility alliteration of Robert Ray and said, I'm picking that guy.
I mean, that does sound like a guy who can fire a good cannon.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I got to stand up for my guy, though. He was a previous Cy Young winner with our Toronto Blue Jays.
Wow.
September of that year, I think I was 5 rows down from the Blue Jays dugout, row 1, seat 1, and I could hear him grunt from my seat. So I got to back my guy up.
He's a grunter?
Him grunt. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know who's a big grunter is Scherzer. Big grunter.
Honestly, Scherzer scares me. Like if I'm John Schneider, somebody else is taking care of ejecting him from the game.
I love that. And, I got to give you credit, Matt. We were weaving and you landed the plane. So thank you for bringing us home there.
That was incredible. That's like a Painting Corners baseball podcast history moment right there. That nice little full circle. Beautiful. Thank you. But I'm rewatching Springer's home run tonight against the Yankees. No, not the one from the playoffs. I just love watching Springer swing. He's got such a beautiful swing for a righty,
So Matt, we got a couple more minutes here, and I want to get your opinion and your predictions on a few things. So, who's winning the AL East?
Oof.
Way to put me on the spot there.
That's what we do.
I'm going to double down. I'm going to say my Jays are going to come back with at
3.2%.
With how hot the Rays are and with how good the Yankees are, there is still 3 months of baseball. The Rays rotation could totally let down. Caminero is going to go on a cold streak. Same with what's the other guy's name? I'm thinking right now. He's on my fantasy team.
Aranda.
Yes, Aranda. Yeah,
I love Aranda.
Honestly, and the Yankees are good up until September, so they could be first.
I love that point.
I love the dunk. Let's go.
They could be in first place August 28th, and the Blue Jays could be 3 games behind them, and they're going to go on a 10-game losing streak because the Yankees Yankee, and they don't have the short porch on the road.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, the Red Sox were good until April this year, so yeah, they're probably torched. Okay, so who do you think is going to win AL MVP?
AL MVP right now. Honestly, it's a good question. It's probably going to be Judge again.
Oh,
because up until somebody dethrones Judge, I don't know. Kate, and take this with a grain of salt for any other Yankees or Dodgers fans, but him and Shohei are kind of the MLB's little faces, the babies. They'll do whatever they can to put them front and center.
So who do you think should have won last year?
Don't get this guy started. Trust me, it's not good.
Who did they have? I can't remember. Who did they have as the 3 finalists last year?
It was basically Judge Cal. I mean, Bobby was kind of considered, but
if I'm a betting person, I would have put my money on Bobby because I actually think I did put a Bet365 bet on Bobby to be the AL MVP.
Wow, way to plug Bet365 there. Wow.
I'm trying to get some promotional stuff here.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you getting hits from them or something?
Trying to. No, I think honestly with the season Cal should have been given more of a chance just because when do you see a catcher hit 60 home runs plus his framing last year? He was kind of the backbone of that Mariners late season push and getting to the CS.
Yeah, he's not this year. He's hitting 160, but
Aidan loves you right now so much. Aidan's been beating this drum about the platinum glove. premium position. Doesn't matter if he bats .069. Who cares?
That is a little bit hyperbolic, but I think the jury's gonna have to throw that one out. So let me ask you, Matt, who's winning the AL pennant? And it's not the Houston Astros.
Oh God, dude.
Honestly, it's gonna be an AL East team like it usually is the last couple of years. Do I have enough weight to push my Blue Jays to the AL championship, the pennant? Who do we have out of the West? The Oakland, and then the Central, we have Detroit.
I don't think Oakland has the pitching to
and they're too young
anywhere.
still. It's gonna be one of the three: Yankees, Rays, or Blue Jays. I said the Blue Jays are gonna win the AL East, so I'm gonna double down and say my Blue Jays are going back to the World Series.
Wow. Go.
I bleed with blind faith, and I'm gonna do that right now.
Wow. Okay, let's play a game. So you can't say the Blue Jays. Who do you that's fine actually. You can say the Blue Jays, but whom do you think would play the best baseball to end up in the ALCS with them? And who would make for a really good divisional game to get to the ALCS? So who's your 2 and 3 in the AL right now?
I think that a Jays Yankees championship series would be absolute fire.
Wow.
It's kind of a 5-game series, and the DS doesn't do the Yankees Blue Jays enough justice. I think it should be a 7-game series. That should have been. I want to say you have the Mariners. I'll give the Mariners a little bit of love if they can kind of pick things up in the West there. Or even somebody like the Tigers. You got a guy like Tarek Skubal who, pardon my language here, put his balls on the table and said, "You guys are going to give me $35 million," and you know it. And
That's quite a vivid image there.
I'm really about analogies, and I didn't know the other analogy, and that's what he did to the Tigers front office there, because they only wanted to give him $18 million?
Yeah.
What state it was?
No, he put his baseballs right on the table and said, "I know how to grip these and throw these very well for strikes. Pay me money."
I know where the seams are.
That's right.
Exactly.
Last question, Matt. Would you rather meet A, Yohendrick Pananga, B, Patrick Corbin, C, Joey Loperfido,
Brother, let's go,
or D, Yariel Rodriguez?
Is this a one-person answer? Because I can give 2 people right now for 2 different reasons.
Oh, give
me your number 1 guy, and then you can answer however you want.
Number 1 would be Corbin, because that guy's been through some stuff in the major leagues, and I just like to pick his brain, and just kind of see where his head's at, because he's a serviceable veteran who has, like I said, been through some stuff in the major leagues.
Sure.
My second answer would be Rodriguez, because I would like to ask him, how do you justify throwing up beach balls for the millions you're getting from the Blue Jays?
Wow. Well, that would be quite a conversation.
That may not go over very well, but sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit.
You could ask him to throw more strikes.
Yeah, that would be too polite, though. Just because our Canadians are known as polite doesn't mean we don't have some of a backbone sometimes.
I was going to say, aren't you guys supposed to be polite?
Post-pod, I would love to request that Joe puts an image of you riding an armored polar bear, just chugging maple syrup, confronting on the battlefield David versus Goliath style, Yariel Rodriguez.
Wow.
And throwing down the gauntlet and saying, "Please, sir, Oliver Twist style, can I have more strikes?"
Send that to the data center, Joe.
This would probably be the greatest thing that's happened to me. So if we can make this happen, life is made.
Let's go.
Fire up the server. Let's get that image going.
Bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop. Joe is off.
And I think that's a good place to wrap.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you here, Matt. I'm really grateful for your time tonight, before work and all that, and taking time out of your week to come yuck some ball with the boys. Thank you for the insights and positivity from above the border. Good reminder to all baseball fans that you always do have a shot, and it is what brings us all back for the love of the game. Looking forward to more of your pieces, and everyone, you can find Matt at painting-corners.com with guest articles all the time. And if you wanted a chance to plug your stuff right now, Matt, where can people find you at, socials and otherwise?
All of my socials are kind of the same thing. It's MATTR798. Matt Roberts on Facebook. There's lots of us, so you're gonna have to kind of sift through them. There's 2 in this city alone. Then Instagram, Threads. I am at MATTR798, so follow me around for some of the adventures up in Saskatchewan.
Fans, like, subscribe. We really appreciate the follow. Hit the bell for notifications. And most importantly, AI-generated images of armored polar bear riding, maple syrup swilling, Matt Roberts in the streets of Saskatchewan. That's what we're always looking for. So with that, we're closing out of the studio tonight. It's been a wonderful time. Everybody, signing off from the Painting Corners podcast. Good night.
Baseball for the loyal fan from spring into fall. Aidan's talking facts, John's postulating them all. Do training